It's Wednesday, May 28th. In the headlines, National Water Commission to explore expansion of key water storage facilities amid growing pressure on Kingston metropolitan area supply. In business news, the Jamaica Public Service appoints new directors. Regionally, Guyanese will head to the polls come September 1, 2025. And in sports, Jamaica advances to Unity Cup final after victory over Trinidad and Tobago. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The National Water Commission, NWC, is set to review options for expanding the Mona Reservoir and Hermitage Dam, the two primary water storage facilities serving the Kingston metropolitan area. The move is in response to population growth and shifting weather patterns, placing increased demand on these critical resources. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, revealed that experts will explore increasing Hermitage Dam's storage capacity by either raising the dam's crest level or constructing an additional reservoir to capture overflow during the wet season. He was making his contribution to the 2025-2026 sectoral debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
We'll be doing work to restore and to improve because there is some damage at the Hermitage Dam, so we'll be doing $151 million of work there.
He also noted ongoing work related to the development of Rock River Dam, including land acquisition, site preparation, and pipeline installation, with investments totaling $150 million. Highlighting the government's goal of achieving universal access to water, Minister Samuda says the current administration is investing more than $22 billion in Jamaica's water sector this year.
In Orangefield, to Northwest St. Catherine, completed improving water supply for 880 people, $10 million. St. Catherine Northeast, Bermadi, $14 million. In St. Catherine Southwest, $5 million improving Kimble Pen system. South St. Catherine Southwest, Family Avenue, improving Bodles. Clarendon Southwest, the Springfield Racecourse system, with that line being improved for 384 Jamaicans. In St. Elizabeth Northeast, the Run It system was completed at a cost of $10 million, 260 persons benefiting there.
The Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Ministry is to establish a pension scheme specifically for farmers. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green revealed that the ministry will be seeking $1 billion to fund the initiative. The announcement was made during Minister Green's 2025-2026 sectoral debate presentation in the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
We will be advocating for $1 billion to seed that fund so that our farmers can put on a little thing. So just like every other profession, they can retire, cock up them foot and have a pension.
He also announced that a total of 387 farmers received payouts amounting to more than $1.4 million under the GK Weather Protect Insurance Facility in 2024.
But we want more farmers to benefit. I'm pleased to announce that this year we will be providing support for 5,000 farmers to sign up for the GKI Weather Protect Insurance Scheme. We're going to target the disaster-prone areas.
The government has partnered with Grace Kennedy Insurance to implement a parametric insurance program offering wind, rain, and drought coverage for Jamaican farmers and fishers. More than 26,000 residents in Red Hills and nearby communities in St. Andrew are one step closer to a more reliable water supply. It comes as Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness broke ground on the over $1 billion ferry to Rock Pond pipeline project. The move is part of a broader push to modernize Jamaica's water infrastructure. Danita Rodney has the details.
A long-awaited fix for chronic water shortages in St. Andrew is finally moving forward. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness broke ground for the $1 billion ferry to Rock Pond pipeline project, promising long overdue relief for thousands of residents. Acknowledging years of frustration, the Prime Minister recalled tense moments with community members who had grown weary of broken promises and simply wanted reliable access to water, a basic necessity they've lived without for far too long.
This project is long in coming. Maybe about 4 years ago, had occasion to interact with several citizens in the community. And their greatest complaint was about water.
Given her contribution, Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security and a Member of Parliament for St. Andrew West Rural, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, called on residents to remain patient and understanding once the work gets underway.
This ferry to Rock Pond project forms part of a wider thrust to modernize and also to expand Jamaica's water infrastructure. It will involve, as we heard before, the installation and upgrading of major pipelines across the corridor, ensuring that everywhere in Red Hills is properly served. We are also aware that this process may cause temporary disruption, and we ask for understanding and the people here of Red Hills, your corporation. The long-term benefit, I'm sure, will outweigh all of the inconvenience that you will face. And so we're asking for patience.
Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, says this project and others are aimed at strengthening water resilience in the corporate area and St. Catherine by 2027.
We are targeting water resilience for Kingston, St. Andrew, Portmore, and Spanish Town in St. Catherine for 2027. These projects will culminate in 2027. But you're seeing bits and pieces of them start to ease the pressure. You're seeing the benefit that will be derived from spark roads, which will change old lines also on roads that need to be resurfaced. You're seeing the benefit of storage tanks. You're seeing the benefit of new pumping capacity. You're seeing the benefit of new energy sources.
The ferry to Rock Pond pipeline project will see the installation of over 7,000 meters of pipeline, new pump stations, and storage tanks. Work begins in June and is expected to be completed in 16 months. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Danita Rodney.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging the public to take precautions amid the current Saharan dust affecting the island. Director of Environmental Health in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Michael Williams, is urging the public to be cautious.
Members of the public, particularly those with pre-existing respiratory conditions or those prone to such illnesses, are encouraged to exercise extreme caution and observe the following precautions. Stay indoors as much as possible. Wear face mask when venturing outdoors. Wear long-sleeved clothing and protect your eyes with eyewear. Additionally, all Jamaicans are encouraged to wash their hands regularly and avoid touching their eyes. Ensure that harvested water is properly treated before use. Cover water used for domestic purposes, including drinking and food preparation, to prevent contamination.
The presence of Saharan dust is a familiar annual weather phenomenon in the Caribbean, typically occurring between May and October. The dust plumes are generally short-lived, lasting no more than a week. Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Investors can look out for passive income based on corporate announcements. Fontana Limited has declared an interim dividend of 25 cents per share payable on June 25, 2025 to shareholders on record as of June 10, 2025. Proven Group Limited has declared a dividend of a US 0.0010 cents per share. Ordinary shareholders who have requested payment in Jamaican dollars will receive the equivalent of Jamaican 0.15889 cents per share. The dividend is payable on July 2, 2025 to shareholders on record as at June 18, 2025. Dolphin Cove Limited has advised that the Board of Directors at a meeting scheduled for May 30, 2025 will consider an interim dividend payment to shareholders. Jamaica Public Service Company Limited has announced the appointment of 2 new directors, highlighting that the promotions will improve its strategy of powering Jamaica's future. Ricardo Case has been appointed Senior Vice President, Shared Services, and Samir Sims will serve as Vice President, Generation, with effect from May 1st. Hugh Grant, President and CEO of JPS, stated that these promotions reflect the JPS' ongoing commitment to harnessing homegrown leadership to build a smarter, stronger, and more resilient JPS to serve its over 690,000 customers. Coffee farmer and immediate past president of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Michael Leckie, notes that disease and neglect has caused Jamaican cocoa farmers to be excluded from the jump in cocoa prices. The price of bulk cocoa on the world market has soared to nearly US $11,000 per metric ton. But despite Jamaica's reputation for producing some of the best fine cocoa in the world, the country is not benefiting from the global boom. Cocoa production in Jamaica is currently at an all-time low of just 300 metric tons, down from 3,000 tons in the 1980s. Leckie attributes the sharp decline in production to the frosty pod rot disease and a lack of government attention to the industry. For the trading period ending May 27, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Online education provider One-on-One Educational Services Limited, with 7,414,211 units traded, representing 27.91% of market sales volume. International food distributor Deramon Trading Company Limited, with 2,876,801 units traded, representing 10.83% of market sales volume. Investment firm Sterling Investments Limited, with 2,706,440 units traded, representing 10.19% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On May 27, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $63.47 million purchased and US $65.50 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.41 per dollar, selling the US at $159.84 and buying the US at $158.43. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $1.19 per transaction, with selling at $116.18 and buying at $114.99. The British pound yielded Forex traders $10.30 in profit, with selling at $218.88 and buying at $208.58. For our credit report tip of the day, in today's economy, it's not enough to save and hope. You need assets that produce income, and real estate is one of the most reliable ways to do that. But here's what most people miss. Your credit score is your entry ticket. It's not just about getting approved, it's about getting leverage. The right credit profile can open the door to bank loans, private capital, rehab financing, and even multi-unit deals with little upfront cash. If you're serious about buying real estate to generate income, your credit score is one of the most powerful tools you already have. The question is, are you using it? And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Guyana's general and regional elections will be held on Monday, September 1, 2025. Guyana's head of state, Dr. Irfaan Ali, made the announcement on Sunday night as he gave his presidential address for Guyana's 59th independence anniversary. The anniversary celebrations are at Albion, Berbice this year. Dr. Ali said the decision came after he engaged the chairwoman of the Guyana Elections Commission and has been assured of the commission's readiness to hold elections on this date.
In keeping with the tenets of democracy and the construct of our Constitution, I had discussions with the chairwoman of GCOM, and having been assured of their readiness, I decided to name the 1st of September 2025 as a date for national and regional elections. The 1st of September 2025 as a date for national and regional elections. Let me be clear, the 1st of September 2025 as the date for national and regional elections. And in keeping with the Constitution, soon I will issue the proclamation dissolving the Parliament.
The Caribbean Basin, once dominated by large refineries with significant capacity, has seen a significant reduction in refining capacity in the past few decades. According to the Oil and Gas Journal, many refineries are being shut down. TTT News' Evolving Energy looks at the potential for refineries in the Latin America and Caribbean region.
According to Global Americans, an independent think tank, the future of refineries in Latin America and the Caribbean is complex, facing both challenges and opportunities. With Trinidad and Tobago planning for the reopening of the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery, let's look at the future of refineries in the region. The global shift towards cleaner energy sources is reducing demand for traditional refined petroleum products, as growing awareness of climate change prompts more people to adopt sustainable consumption habits. This is leading to lower refining margins, which is the difference between the value of the refined product and the cost of the crude used to produce the refined products and the potential mothballing of older, less efficient facilities. While the region has a growing interest in biofuels and other low-emission alternatives, such as green hydrogen, which could displace some traditional refining activities, political stability, economic sanctions, and changes in global oil markets can also affect the viability of the region's refineries. Increasing environmental awareness and regulations are also leading to greater pressure on refineries to reduce emissions and adopt more sustainable practices. Meanwhile, significant upstream discoveries in Guyana, Brazil, and other regional territories are leading to increased crude oil production. but underinvestment in refining capacity can increase the need for imported refined products. Refineries are likely to adapt to this evolving situation by focusing on the production of low-carbon fuels, such as biofuels and hydrogen, or by incorporating renewable energy into their operations. Existing refineries may be forced to undergo revamping projects to improve their efficiency and profitability, potentially focusing on producing higher value products or adapting to changing feedstock requirements. Refineries may explore collaborations with other industries, such as the petrochemical sector, to create integrated energy systems and enhance efficiency. The region's abundant renewable energy resources could enable the development of low-cost, low-emission hydrogen production, which could be used in refining and other industries. Overall, the future of refineries in Latin America and the Caribbean will be shaped by the interplay of oil and gas production growth, evolving energy markets, and the global push for net zero emissions.
UN Climate Chief and former Grenadian Minister Simon Steele has issued a renewed global call for urgent climate action as the first Climate Week of 2025 got underway in Panama City. The high-level event set the tone for a more action-driven approach with fresh priorities and partnerships amid turning point promises and progress spotlighting innovation as a key driver in tackling the climate crisis. More from GBN News.
At the opening of the first Climate Week of 2025 in Panama City, former Minister of Government in Grenada, Simon Steele, now Executive Secretary of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, emphasized the urgent need to transform from climate ambition to concrete implementation. This Climate Week was the first of a revamped format of the occasion, focusing on 4 core priorities: efficiency, implementation, inclusivity, and momentum.
First, efficiency. Clustering mandated events to save time, costs, and carbon. Second, implementation. Making room to advance concrete, real-world solutions. Third, inclusivity. Ensuring space for diverse perspectives. And fourth, momentum. Creating strategic milestones between negotiation sessions to accelerate action.
A central feature of this new Climate Week approach is the Implementation Forum, designed to unite governments, multilateral development banks, investors, businesses, civil society, and indigenous peoples to advance progress in finance, technology, and carbon markets. Recognizing the role of technology in addressing climate challenges, Steele announced the AI for Climate Action Award, an initiative that aims to harness artificial intelligence to develop innovative solutions for climate adaptation and mitigation.
At the Implementation Forum, we'll launch the AI for Climate Action Award, a genuine effort to accelerate climate action through the power of people and technology, supporting bold ideas in adaptation and mitigation. Because in the face of the climate emergency, there is no substitute for action. And we have made real progress. Thanks to this progress and the tireless work of parties, the world is no longer on a path to 5 degrees of heating.
He pointed out that climate change is disrupting global trade and exacerbating food insecurity, particularly in vulnerable regions. He urged governments to submit new national emissions plans that prioritize sustainable development, focusing on economic opportunities in green industries. Climate Week was held from the 19th to the 23rd of May 2025.
In sports, we get the ball rolling with football. Jamaica secured their place in the Unity Cup final in London following a dramatic 3-2 victory against Caribbean rivals Trinidad and Tobago in the semi-final at Brantford Community Stadium on Tuesday. The Reggae Boys initially took a commanding 2-0 lead, but Trinidad and Tobago fought back to level the match 2-2 in stoppage time. Richard King stepped up to score Jamaica's second penalty of the day, clinching the win just as the game was poised to head into a shootout. Now on to the pitch with cricket, West Indies women's skipper Hayley Matthews has climbed to joint second in the ICC Women's T20 International batting rankings, her highest career placement to date, following a sensational performance with the bat against England. Nasira Mohammed has that story.
The West Indies all-rounder lit up the recent three-match series with a total of 177 runs, including a stunning unbeaten century in the opening T20 International in Canterbury. Her efforts earned her the Player of the Series honour and have now propelled her above the likes of India's Smriti Mandana and Australia's Talia McGrath in the global standings, a position Matthews had previously reached in December 2023. From a Caribbean perspective, the achievement is yet another reminder of Matthews' elite status in the women's game and her role as the heartbeat of the regional side's batting lineup. While the West Indies were unable to secure a victory in the series, Matthews' consistent brilliance offered a bright spark. Her rise in the rankings serves as a testament to her continued evolution as one of the world's premier T20 batters. Elsewhere in the rankings, England saw several of their players climb after a dominant 3-0 series win. Heather Knight, who contributed an unbeaten 66 in the final match, jumped 7 places to 17th. Captain Nat Silverbrunt rose to 9th overall, while opener Sophia Dunkley moved to 29th. On the bowling front, Pakistan's Sadia Iqbal has reclaimed the number 1 position, displacing England's Sophie Ecclestone, who slipped to 4th after sitting out the series due to injury. India's Deepti Sharma and Australia's Annabel Sutherland now round out the top 3. England's Lauren Bell also made headlines, rising 13 spots to 6th after claiming a series-high 7 wickets. Lindsay Smith and Izzy Wong were also among the big movers.
Still in the creases with cricket, West Indies head coach Darren Sammy is looking towards the upcoming 3-match one-day international series against England, starting on Thursday. Sammy is eyeing the long-term implications for West Indies' direct qualification for the 2027 World Cup. Terry Andrew reports.
Indies now turn their focus to a highly anticipated 3-match ODI series against England. Having defeated England in the Caribbean at the end of 2024, the Windies know they won't be taken lightly on English soil. Head coach Darren Sammy says the work continues for his side if they are to be successful in the upcoming series.
You know, every international team poses different type of challenges. For us is to continue to believe, continue to work, and we are putting in the work. And we hold the trophy from winning the series at home, and we're trying to better our away record, you know, and we have a team capable of doing that.
Sammy says the ODI series is important because the aim is to achieve direct qualification for the 2027 World Cup.
World Cup 2027 in mind, automatic qualification is the first goal. Climbing up the rankings is the only way we could do that. You know, we've made some strides from when we just started. We are at number 9 right now with England just ahead of us, I think by 2 or 3 points. And this series is very important. In fact, every ODI game from now until the deadline for qualification is important. So that should be extra incentives for our guys, and we are preparing well.
Sammy is also encouraged by his middle order batting.
Our middle order over the last year has been on par with the world's middle order. The work Casey Carty has put in, you know, Shafin Rutherford is not here, but he's been a part of that middle order period. Carty, man, when they tell you hard work brings rewards, you know, Casey is an example of that. The role that we've given him, the way he's grabbed it and made the best out of it, you know.
And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Remember, we are the People's Station.